Karl Hermann is Solution Engineer Manager for Federal SLED and Healthcare for Zoom. Welcome. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining me today. How are you seeing public sector organizations being effective at merging data and AI to get the results that they want?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the first thing that I'm kind of seeing is around governance is, what data do they have? What is there a standardization around those data and the models that they have? How are they actually modeling the data? So your organization themselves could, have the same data, but they have different data structures between different groups within the organization. So they're working on a standardization around that. And then once they've got that data and everything, how are they, taking a look at the data? How are they looking at the data, analyzing the data, and trying to understand outcomes that they want out of that data. And so, when they put around governance around it and everything, they create standardization around their data. Then at that turn point, they look at, what is their, sort of the biggest bang for their buck? Do I have models internally? Can I look at open source models? Do I have the infrastructure to be able to host that data, query that data? Do I look at our cloud offering? There's all sorts of different types of things that we're kind of seeing for working with data and everything.
Are agencies getting better at achieving what they want to achieve in the things that you just described, or have we kind of hit a standstill?
It's mixed.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen it mixed. I've definitely seen where agencies and organizations don't feel that they have the correct governance in place and don't have the right data in place, and the data isn't, as they define it, clean enough for them to move forward. And so I think earlier today I heard somebody talk about their pilot purgatory. So I've seen organizations that are in that constant pilot and they don't actually roll everything out. Mm-hmm. And I've also seen organizations that have learned from their data and have been able to actually create some good models and actually be able to do predictive analytics against some of those models, and they've been able to understand some outcomes and everything. So there are organizations that have had some successes, and there's some organizations that are still growing and still learning.
Are there common themes in the things that you've seen to help organizations get over those humps?
Some may be common themes. Some of them are understanding kind of the outcomes a little bit. So the outcomes are different. And some of the common themes are people and having the right people in place to be able to understand that. The other part too is I've also seen is having the right people doesn't necessarily mean that they understand the outcomes that the organization is looking for. So, the right people may not be in place, whether it's if it's a subcontractor that's being contracted out that doesn't understand the mission of the organization.
Mm-hmm. And that was kind of where I wanted to go next. Who are the right people to be determining what the outcomes are, so that they can tell the people who are building the platform, training the models, all of that, this is what we're going for? I
mean, AI could tell us that, right? The right people. So I don't have a clean answer for you that on who are the right people. I think the right people could already be there. There's maybe not asking the right questions. Uh-huh. So the organization could have the right people already within that. There's not asking the right questions or understanding the right outcomes or understanding the data set that they have and how they want to analyze that data.
Karl, it's great to have you here. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me as well.